QuickBooks video today. We want to look, I've been kind of going along with the theme of customizing QuickBooks lately, and I want to continue with that and look a little bit at how you can customize the forms in QuickBooks. So I don't know if you're like me, but if I get an invoice from the electrician or from the plumber or something like that, I can look at that in the mail. I can say, yeah, that they're using QuickBooks, because all the invoice forms look the same. They look like the default forms that QuickBooks gives us. Well, let's look at how we can customize that a little bit, and I'll show you just a couple of things, and from that, hopefully that will kind of acquaint you with where the tools are, and then you can just go to work and make your invoices into something completely unrecognizable from QuickBooks if you would like. It'll just a lot of things you can do. Okay, so two places you can access the templates, okay, is the term that we're going to use in QuickBooks. One is you can go to lists, and then you can go to templates, and this gives you a list of all the templates. So as you see, you can customize invoices, credit memos, sales receipt, purchase orders, statement forms, estimates, sales orders, even payment receipt, all of that. You can customize all of those forms. And I could pick one of these from here and make some changes on it, edit that, or I could click on the button down here and I could say I want to make a brand new invoice from scratch. Let me show you the other place to access that ability is with the invoice form itself open. The template is right up here if you've never noticed that. So I can click on this down arrow and there are several templates to choose from. This is the sample file that QuickBooks comes with, Rockcastle Construction, and there is an invoice form that has been customized for them. Here's a standard one, Intuit product invoice, there's an Intuit service invoice, and so forth, and you can choose between those. Or you can modify one that is already here. So what I'm going to do, now let me backtrack for just a minute. Some of those, the standard ones that come with QuickBooks, like the Intuit product invoice, Intuit service invoice, QuickBooks will make you create a copy of those before you start making changes, because it wants to be sure that if you totally mess the whole thing up, it wants you to be able to go back to that original. All right, Rockcastle invoice. Let's customize this one. If we have these tabs up here, a lot of people have never noticed that either. Click on this one that says formatting and then customize data layout. Now, I showed you the list of templates before, and I told you, that we could edit from there and take you to the same place. Either way, we're going to the same place. So here we go. It's taking just a minute to open. You can see the picture's not quite complete. There we go. Now it's complete. This is, what is this? Additional customization. There's a basic customization as well. Let's go there. So you see, you can add a logo. If I had a graphic file like a PNG or JPEG or something like that, I could click on here, use logo, and right here, then QuickBooks is saying, okay, well, where's the image that you want us to use? So that's an option, and that's a nice one. Honestly, if you have a logo and if you have it in a computer file, you really ought to put that on your invoices. Here are other things that are showing on the invoice: company name, company address. The phone number is not. This is what I want to use as an example today. Very simple, only take a few minutes here, but it will show you some of the tools you can use and where they're located. So if I click on the checkbox, phone number, well, QuickBooks doesn't know. It knows we want to add the phone number, but it doesn't know where we want to add the phone number. So I don't know if you noticed, but we have this little preview screen right here, and this is where it added the phone number. It just got stuck it there at the bottom of the invoice. So what we're going to do then at this point, oh, one more point I should make before we move on. This information comes from the company information. It's available off the company drop-down menu. If you click that, there's that section there that says My Company, and there's the contact information, the legal address, all of that. That's where QuickBooks is pulling this information from you. I'm not telling it what the phone number is. I'm just telling it I want to add the phone number, and it's going to pull it from whatever I have here, which for most people got added to their QuickBooks file when they very first set up QuickBooks. I'd click on that, but I can't. Right now with this window open and active, I'd have to go back and start all over again. So I think you get the idea. You know where that is. All right. So what are we going to do about this phone number that's sitting at the bottom of this invoice form? Clearly, we don't want it to look like that. Well, that's where Layout Designer comes into play. So I'm going to click on Layout Designer, and it opened on my other screen. So give me just a second here. I'm going to pull that over. There we go. In fact, let me see if I can get this. It looks like I can't. I was hoping to make the window smaller so you could see the whole thing. But nope, it's not going to give me that double-headed arrow. It's not going to let me change the size of the window. We'll just have to scroll up and down. All right. This is Layout Designer. This is where we tell QuickBooks where we want the different pieces of information to show. Now, this is on the printed form only. We are not customizing what we see on the screen. We're only customizing what the customer is going to see when we print or email an invoice to them. So clearly, we need to move where that phone number is, and there we go. Whoops. See if I can get down here far enough to find that. Wow. Okay, sorry. This is making it a little, I've got this on kind of a small screen, so I can face the camera at the same time, and it's giving me trouble. Okay. And now it doesn't, it's totally locked up. There we go. All right. I am going to save both you and me the effort from going back and trying to start this all over again. So I am moving it up where we can see it on the camera. And it's still protesting. It doesn't like that. All right, here we go. So all I did was I went down there and I grabbed those two fields and pulled them up, just drug them with the mouse cursor so that they're up in the top part of the invoice. Well, so where do I want this to show? Well, I would guess I want this to show underneath the address, right? So when I told it to add the phone number, it added two boxes. One is just a description, phone number. I really don't think I need that. I mean, I think that number underneath the address is going to look like a phone number. I think people are going to know what that is. So I'm just going to delete this box altogether. Okay? Now, this is the box with the data. Now, if you notice, it's all fives right now, but that's because I'm not typing the phone number in here. QuickBooks is going to pull it from that company file like I was explaining earlier. Okay, so what do I want to do with this? Well, the first problem that I see is that the phone number is centered in this text box. And there we go. There's a line around the text box, and the font size is smaller than the address. All that makes it look kind of weird. All right. So we're gonna adjust that. There's a button up here called Properties. I'll click on that. And the first tab here is for the text. I'll click on Font. And let's make that, I think the rest of that address is size 12. So I'm going to say, okay, give me size 12. I'm going to click OK there. And then horizontally, it's centered in that text box. I don't want that. I want it up against the left margin like everything else. So I'll select left. Then it has that line around it. That's border. And I have 4 choices here, top, bottom, left, right. Well, I don't want any of them. So I'm just going to uncheck them all. So you see what you can do here. You know, you can have a line to the left, a line to the bottom, top, whatever you want. It can be line of different styles. It can be thick line, thin line. It can be a colored line. If you print with a color printer, you can put color into your whole invoice, into the text, into the different lines, the different boxes, and so forth. You can even put a fill color. You know, you could a real pale yellow or something against a dark blue. You know, whatever you would like, whatever would look good to you. You have all of those things that you can do to customize. Well, let's just go with what we've got. All right. I think I just need to move this text box so that it lines up. And there we go. So I don't want to take the time to do other things. I think that gives you an idea of what you can do, and that's barely a start. I mean, like I showed you, there's all that color you can add. There's all those different line styles. There's no lines, you know, leave it with no lines if you want. Okay, so that's good. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to move this over to the other screen in order to get access to the Save button. It's actually an OK button. So I get that, and now you can see this is what it looks like. You see there's a little gap there between the company name and the address. I could have changed that to, I could have grabbed this and just drug it up a line to make it all appear together. There's almost unlimited number of things I can do with that invoice. I'm going to click OK again. Okay, so now we're back to where we started. I'm not going to show you anything else just to keep this video from getting too long, but let me point this out. In this is the additional customization screen, and I can customize the header part of the invoice. That's this portion right here, and that's where we were working with the phone number. I can customize the columns. Maybe I want these columns in a different order. I can tell QuickBooks I want the column to appear on the screen, but I don't want it on the printed copy of the invoice. Item name is like that. I'm not seeing that. Oh, there it is. So item appears on the screen, but it doesn't print. The description does, but the actual item name doesn't. Progress columns, if you use progress invoicing, the footer portion of the invoice, so that's down here, and the print, so you can even set up, so we have collated paper in the printer, white copy and a yellow copy, and so we want QuickBooks to always print this invoice template on a different printer. We want to use that printer with collated paper, just as an example. So just an awful lot of things you can do. All right, so let's go back to an invoice. And let's find one with some data. Here we go. And actually, there we go. Let's look at this one. So I'm going to, we didn't change anything on the screen. Screen's still exactly the same as it was before. But if I preview what this will look like when it prints, you see there's our phone number. Again, there's still some adjusting we can do to clear out that open space there and so forth. But that shows you where you can find the tools to do this, and just go there and start playing around. It's not hard to use. It's not technical. Just experiment with that a little bit, and I think you'll be, most of you anyway, are going to be happier with an invoice that's more custom looking, so it doesn't look the same as everybody else's invoice. So thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful, and hope that will answer some questions for you. If you have any more questions about it, just leave those in the comments below. I try to get to those whenever I can. Okay? All right, thanks.